Whoa, what's up, guys? Welcome back to more programming. Wowie. Ooh. And this is what I've got so far. For the third nth rewrite, this is what I got to yesterday. But I'm coming up with an idea. So there's also something called associative array, which was like, associative arrays, you can make them, but like, you can't really do much if you have an like, think of it this way. Imagine having an associative array of strings to bools. What do I get from that? I only have... There is no... you don't get anything from that, really. I don't know if there's any use for that. So, unless I had an associative array of associative arrays for bool. Or no, a dynamic array of arrays for associative arrays of bool. But the fucking crazy shit you can do with arrays that exists is insane to me. And I was like, well, if I can make arrays do that, I could just create a struct that literally does what I need it to do, and then some. But structs are also not great because they're like... It's a memory structure that can use a lot of space if you're not careful. Or a data structure that can use a lot of memory if you're not careful. That's what I should say. We're going to avoid the parallelism for reading the runtime args and try to do it this way instead. Then we'll also... This will also give us what we need. For this, though, for each I of runtime.args, 1 to length, do that, and if it is that, set it to true. If it's not that, then set it to false. So that means you can have your switches. Let's go ahead and test that out. No one loves it. C, Perl, Python, Smalltalk, and Lisp programmers love their languages. Never had anyone say they loved Java. That's a good one. Oh, definitely C++ may not be the worst programming language ever created. But without a doubt, it's the worst ever to be taken seriously. Wowie. Nice. CD into D-Lang. Slash. This should be fish server. Originally I was going to do concurrency for it, and the concurrency would be to create sub-processes and shit. But then I was like, that makes no sense. Let's just do the same thing all at once so we can get all the operations done at one time. Here's the thing though. Concurrent, or like, parallelism is like having 5 people cook one stew at the same time. Or like having, let's say you have 6 artists, 1 canvas, and you have them all go paint. They have to all be coordinated. They have to all know what the goal is, what the end product, but they don't know. That's what parallelism is, to me. Unless you use task pool. Task pool just makes it easy. Task pool is clean, but sometimes you can't use task pool. Anyway, I need to actually make start too, or whatever the hell I was doing here. I was gonna add a void class for it. Does this parallelize any? No. Write ln, and we're gonna take the runtime args. No. Write ln parser dot args. dmd parser fish AI to D, just to test it out, and then we'll /fish AI. Yeah. Then do dash arg something. You can see creates a bunch of structs for those. I might change the name of this. Maybe word or context. We'll make that context. Context will have a bunch of stuff in it. It's probably going to include a bunch of uninitialized stuff to start off. This is why I like constructors for things, but anyway. Where does that happen? Oh. Did I just change this one? It's supposed to be parser. My brain cell is frying. Actively losing my brain cell right now. Slowly oozing out. Args. Change that to change that one to context, bro. I need more Monster energy drinks at this time. Also, this is a new way of initializing these because I'm just appending them to an array of their base type. Alright, that should make everything look way more easy. So no args, many args. So that allows you to get these, which can store information about what they are exactly and what they're going to do. So if it is an arg, that means you can parse that or process that later, or skip that during steps. So we could technically now add handling for it. So we'll create void handle. Or would that be done in the constructor? Because you would add a case with void a handle. So actually void handle args. So the reason I did this is because if I have, let's say, dash so many args, now it knows that. But if I did also this, it also knows that there's also before this. So it goes in order instead of doing it like we were doing it before, which is the painter example where you have 10 painters on one canvas and you have to coordinate all of them. I don't like to be the orchestrator for such things, so instead I've decided it's easier to just for each a loop and do them in sequence. Even if the efficiency payout of running it all parallel as much as we can exists, I'd say that doing it this way simplifies it so much. Now, handle args can be done as executed in a new thread. So that could be done in a new thread, or we could do that in sequence as well, but what I would say would work best is probably to just call a task pool for it. Maybe externally. But anyway, we just gotta get it working. Let's open up an example that has task pool used in it. Parser.d. But task pool allows you to go and create or take a range. So for example, iota, we were using an iota to create our range. However, it's different because even though you for each a task pool, you're not entirely, you have to use I still. So there's no like object, it's just an integer, a count really. I don't really know. Task pool's super new to me. Something I haven't really used much. But task pool gets things in sequence, so. And if we were to call a task pool, it'd be probably in there. So we'll do a for each. And then we have to identify which ones are true. So if we identify which indexes of the array are true, that's the first step. Then we execute a task pool. Let's try to create our setup with a task pool instead of doing it the other way. Because yesterday, a lot of problems happened with not using task pool. Avoid not using task pool. Always use task pool or concurrency, which is slower though. I think concurrency is more for message passing. It's for multiple threads where you need the message passing. You don't always need that. Sometimes you can just use a G shared. And we're gonna make the context args G shared. But don't we also need to create an index of where to stop? Because we would need an index of where to stop. Where to apply. Well, I don't know. Maybe it just runs through them. Maybe I just avoid args entirely. Maybe the args go at the beginning. Maybe we don't even do any of that. Well, see, I wanted args because I wanted it to be able to be like, alright, you type in like, oh, if you put in like image, it will just do image stuff, but I feel like it's a later problem. I feel like you don't need that. I don't know though. What did you guys think? Hello? Hello, bro? What's up? Actually, let me move the chat over so I can see it. Just go with live chat. Yes. Let's see. I think we scrap this entirely. This idea is okay, but we don't need any of this. Say we ignore args and we just use context to give it a, or like create like some use the words that go into it to give it that. And then it just identifies what to do from there. That'll mean it has to be super advanced for it to actually do stuff, but should be pretty easy. So it takes core.runtime, and it's going to take making a string array of args then. String array, we're going to call it args. Sargs. Bro, I'm having a rough time typing today. I just got up like 2 hours ago. Import core.runtime.args. Yep, cool. This.args equals runtime.args. And then you can do the 1 to dot length. So it's going to take a slice of that. The other way I was thinking was we would take a sliding slice from one index to the next index. Algorithms like that make me fry my brain, so we're going to avoid complex stuff that usually breaks. So now we have our import for, or well, our setup for getting that. Then we can start creating a algorithm for making the numbers. So I believe I have RDMD installed. Which I don't think I do. Oh. Sudo please install. Nice. RDMD and DMD options. Builds a D program with its dependencies and runs it. I think you can do this in your terminal. So, what are you making with this programming language, bro? We're going to make a super AI. We're going to make Mark Zuckerberg. And he's going to create a software that nobody wants. Because it's lame. Lol. I don't know. Let's see. RDMD. Isn't RDMD is like actual thingus. Builds a D program with its dependencies and runs it. Just build the executable, don't run it. Write compiler commands. Let's do RDMD -- chatty. How about 40 billion LLM? Which language is this? D-Lang? I'm just seeing if I can get the RDMD to work today before I do it. RDMD allows you to, let's try -- help. Allows you to script with D code. So basically you should be able to run D code in RDMD. But let's see, dry run. Maybe dry - run. I think this is a compiler though, which is weird. Oh wait, it's giving me the example up here. My program. It's offline AI. Oh, damn, bro. Well, that's what we're gonna build. Is a super AI. Call it Jensen Huang, or we'll call it standard CEO. Average CEO, bro. Chatty. What does Chatty do again? Program, RDMD options, and program. So, like, this doesn't do anything. I was told you could use this to run it. Well, then I'll just use Python to do my bitwise. And offline AI is names.llm, so you can run it offline. 40 billion parameters. That needs 32 gigabytes of VRAM and 40 gigabytes of RAM. It uses your GPU. Yeah, that's what mine's gonna do too. It's just we're not even close to that yet. Bro, the farthest I got was on parser.d. We made it pretty far. But the algorithm was failing in it because I had like... See, my idea was we would do some weird bitwise stuff to get unique identifiers for our seed to create a unique number for each word. The problem is that if you have a single letter going in, you don't end up with a good... you don't end up with good words. You end up with a single letter coming out. That means every instance of A was getting merged. What am I coding? God damn it. So many people are asking what am I coding, but I guess I'll answer today. I'm coding a super AI of all time, bro. It's gonna be awesome. Let me see. Void do thing. Do I want to create another void do thing again? Where was I at before? Process worker. Oh, I think did I use task in this one? I was just calling... You can also use lambdas too. I need to learn lambdas. I learned about pointers yesterday. I read some more about pointers. Because they're kind of useful for like referencing memory and stuff. Program. Swear that in this AI. Bro, this AI is going to be so unrestricted it will be able to destroy the universe if you let it. That's my goal. I don't really care. Safeguards? Man, if I put safeguards on it, then that just shows I care. We're not going to do that shit. We're going to write slop code. Make it the but somehow make it still really good. It's just gonna be hard to read. Void cleaner. And then shitty object-oriented code like I'm doing. Yes. Trying to figure out what I want to do first. Good, I will love it. Yeah, it's gonna be like Jester2.d. By the way, if you all don't know, I'm very well known for my best program of all time. It frequently pops up in my terminal. It tells me about how much Java is bad. It reminds me every day. Java is the most distressing thing to happen to computing since MS-DOS. All new features are added to C++ are intended to fix previously new features added to C++. So it makes fun of C++ and Java for me every time I open the terminal. Jester2.d is available on Codeberg. Oh shit. Whoa. Amogus. Amogus Togus. V1 rocket, by the way. So, go get Jester2.d. Do it now, or forever hold your pieces. Continues. Of course, bro, you're better than Linus too? Exactly, bro. That's what the wallpaper is for, bro. What do I need to do? So I just took args. That's gonna give me words without giving me a directory path. So if it gets words, then perfect. So we're gonna take words and do stuff with the words. Also, something else we could configure is like a file, right? What if you wanted to take words from a file or stuff like that? But I don't know. For now, we'll just say take args and do stuff with it as though handle it all as words. Okay, let's ignore that there might be eventually args because I don't have any planned like dash do thing. You know, like how you would do like stuff like that in a terminal. I don't have any, you know, stuff like that I'm gonna. Don't have any that I'm gonna pass to it yet. Words. Need the words to work. Average Python person. But anyway, we need to actually assign unique identifiers to the words. And then create an associative array so that way we can use a hash map for the words. Or no. It need to be like frequencies. Or like, what if we had words but then it was another array? Does this, will this work? I'm actually kind of curious, like, what type of data structure I want. Like, this is the hardest part of this, is deciding on a data structure. DMD fish AI. Expect that to void. Yeah, I'm not there yet, so I'm just gonna comment it, since I don't really know what I'm doing with that yet. Oh, did I just Control-C it? Oh, I forgot to save it. I'm a jackass today. Can I implicitly one to string array to string array. Yeah, figured. But I just append it for now. See if that works. Alright, now put in hello world. So each of these should be taken as an arg and then written out. Oh. Because I think I'm going to go with an array, if that makes sense. An array, I mean, and then have values built onto this. Maybe adding another array. Maybe an array with a nested array. Some crazy shit going on. But that's probably how I'm going to build it. So we're going to write ln, and it's going to be parser.args. Did I just do this? Oh, actually, you all want to see something cursed? I bet this will work, but who knows if that will work. Universal function calling syntax. Hello world. Put an int array in there. Cannot append to type that and int. Interesting. You can use tensor. You can use tensor for data structure? Tensor? What is tensor? Me trying to find my web browser. My self-used index vector. I don't really know much about the AI world. Tensor. What is a tensor? Do it, POMS. I'm sorry, but your website's Cambridge, University of Cambridge, bro. Coolioso. Tensors are simply mathematical objects that can be used scalars and vectors. Bro, I'm learning stuff today. Thank you for cooking with this one, chat. I joined. What are you building? We're gonna build a super AI. It's gonna be Mark Zuckerberg too. It's gonna not invent Facebook. Tensors are simply mathematical objects. What the hell? Just like scalars and vectors, in fact, tensors are merely a generalization of scalars and vectors. A scalar is 0 rank tensor, and a vector is a first rank tensor. The rank order of a tensor is defined by the number of directions. I'm sorry, but can I get a picture of what this looks like? Tensor? Scalar. What is scalar? Images. Whoa. Bro, scalar is TH3 fish. God damn, bro. Fucking check that shit out. What about a tensor? Is that a fish too? It's the best known. Tensors are this? Well, yeah, but like... What? So how does this work? You like, I know byte pair encoding is a thing. I don't even know how to do that shit. I've tried to do that shit, but the information that's available is very sparse from the sources I've been to. Or it's not very well explained how it works, so. Tensor, bro. I'm getting into physics territory. Which means the density of J is parallel to the applied electric field in E. Okay, in mathematics, a tensor is an algebraic object that describes a multilinear relationship between sets in algebraic objects. Associated with a vector space, tensors map where you just need to build the indexes. A Fayes index. Facebook AI similarity search. Zuckerberg? Wow. Just search tensor for AI. Okay. We'll use AI to write my AI. No. Reddit, the best source. This is better than Cambridge University. Get pranked. One-dimensional array is a tensor. Two-dimensional array is a tensor. Three-dimensional array is a tensor. Four-dimensional array is a tensor. Higher dimensional arrays are usually not used in ML. Like OCaml. OCaml! You don't need OCaml. Bro. OCaml, bro. Stream was delayed. So OCaml is a zero-dimensional array, meaning a single value, also a tensor. They are introduced as separate type because they support mass operations such as... Okay, So let's say I have an array of ubyte. Well, actually, we're going to take an array of args. Then we'll process them down to numbers. Are currently the process layer of neurons, as you... Let me be wrong, though. Maybe. Probably. That's what I was thinking, too. It's like you store it in like a vector or a tensor or something. You're not wrong. No, bro, you're not wrong. Yeah, I was thinking he's probably right. But it's also a data storage type. Very interesting stuff. So, void token make. Create void token make. So I can create my tokens and shit Blackwell everywhere from the NVIDIA meme. It's gonna parallelize this into our ubyte, or actually, the problem is I kind of need like multiple tensors. Maybe I need just a U-short array. U-short's okay. U-short's 16 bytes. Well, no, it's not 16 bytes. What am I saying? U-bytes are 2 bytes. Wait, no, U-bytes are a byte. Then U-short is 2 bytes. 16 bits for the U-short. So we'll do the U-short array tensor, aka we're going to use vectors for my tensor. Vectors of vectors for my tensor. That's how I will do this. Unless I just did a bunch of U-bytes. That probably would be a safer bet. I don't know what the GPUs will be able to do with this much data. But this is only really to store, like, vectors, then. Because a vector would be, like, let's give an example where, like, store vector, as in each index is going to be 0, 1, 2. We could also just say, instead of that, we could do ubyte. But what about the unique identifier? Well, actually, no, we don't need that. We just need ubyte. Or, instead of doing a vector, well, actually, you would want a vector. Or would you? Or would you like... This is like for 3-dimensional stuff, though. What if you... Or you cut each index of the word, right? And then process it from there. Like, determine the word length and then cut each index. There's so many ways to think about what we could do. Let's not waste too much time and just get started into experimentation. Experimentation, bro. Also, this is the worst way to... Actually, I don't think this is the worst way. This is just a really weird way to call write LM. I love it. Do I use Firefox or Chromium? I'm using Chromium with Brave browser. It's like the ultimate cringe thing I can do. But so like, then if I'm storing my tensor inside of each index has a vector, then what's the relationship between this and the next one, for example, and then the next one? What's the relationship between these two arrays of arrays? Many layer of array. It's kind of something that I would be curious about. But anyway, well, I guess in the first one, we store like the word itself. In the next one, we'll store weights. In the third one, we'll store the other thing. Or each one just stores one value that's all related. They're all the same values and stuff. What Linux users hate Chromium? Bro, I don't even know, man. I just wake up in the morning and say, ah, yes, it's the Archlord. Anyway, back to what we're doing. Whoa. Thank you, Red Hats. The basic concept is that they're multi-dimensional arrays. There's some more complicated math for them you can do and always interpret them. I don't entirely understand those myself, but I think they're necessarily that relevant to machine learning. They're just important in physics. I understand linear algebra, matrices. Matrices. Whoa. Reddit. Reddit, the heart of the internet. What? What is this, Reddit AI? I don't want Reddit AI. The fuck is that wallpaper? Bro, it's awesome, bro. You can't handle this much Arch Linux, bro. It's the Creaton of Linus. Oh, it just compiles now? Train-traçant. Oh, wow. Franco mode. Alright, so token make, right? We're gonna make token make. And this is gonna do all the math we need to create the things. Of course, I suck at math. Also, don't most systems use floats? I'm gonna use ubyte, because ubyte's fucking amazing. But there's also int 8 and stuff, floating point 8. A generalization of scalars, vectors, and matrices. Okay. Yeah, but we're thinking about how we're going to make the token from the word. From args. So we'll just create a for each. Yeah, for each arg of args. Just start there. That's like the starting point. No, we don't need to do this. Just do the args. For each arg of args. And then I'll just write ln args to see that it actually is working. Arg.writeLn. Since I want to be cool today and do everything in universe, or whatever the fuck it's called. Universal function call syntax. Yes. Yes. Pseudo yes, please. I didn't even call token make. Token make. Parser dot token make. Doesn't need anything else. Using universal function call syntax to do my whole program. Hello and world. Okay, that's cool. Good entry point for the program. So if we got that, we can then cast ubyte array. And then we have to start doing bitwise. I'm gonna do it all bitwise this time. And pack it into a... That's what I'll do. I'll pack it into a U-short. Or U-long or whatever. Using bitwise. So every index of whatever words go in there, we're just gonna pack them into a data type and say, this is the word, and then we're gonna operate upon that. And then get a ubyte array back somehow. Which will be unique. Or maybe it'll be U-short array or a floating point or something. But that's how it will create a unique identifier. So that way there's no chance that the word hello is also the same as hello spelled backwards. Or the same as another word, like Red Bull or something like that. So it can identify every word. Ubyte array. Actually, For each arg, okay, and then we'll take that. I was wondering if I could cast it inside of that and make it cleaner. U-byte array words equals arg. Cast U-byte array. Example. Never mind. Funny guy. Word.writeLM. There we go. It gives me my hello world strings as a bunch of characters. As you can see, a string is basically a car array. So now, we'll do the math to each character of word. So instead, we need to parallelize that task. Technically speaking, I can just put arg into a task pool function. So for each arg of args, make a word array. Or we'll actually hand it off to the next one. So we then would do like task spawn or something like that. But we need to get it back. That's the ultimate end goal, is getting them back in the same order that we process them out. Because we're about to do like 2 layers of parallel. Either we do this and then we pack them all together. It's like thinking too hard right now. Or, actually, we were supposed to for each this one into a task pool. So instead of that, it would be I. So for each I of task pool, we might need to add iota in there. Because they are going to be... Yeah, well actually... How did I do it in the original? I used iota, but do you really need iota? From to g context.length. So from 0 to g. Wouldn't you just do like from 0 to thing dot from 0 to args.length? We'll see if this throws an exception, but it shouldn't. So then boom. Now, how does that work exactly? So that puts a lambda or something, or calls a function afterwards. So it can do this dot process worker words. So then you would have void. So I use a virtual. Can you imagine how hard it is to program with that keyboard? Oh, also the 8K and E key are not working. Sounds like my laptop. Actually, let's make it called, yeah, let's just call it token make worker. And call that from here. Actually, we need to come up with what it needs, but it's probably going to take a U-long I, so I'll just put that at the end on it. So token make worker. Semicolon. Let's go back, see what else I did. It calls it using using this. I was gonna say the this constructor. The this. Something I'm stuttering when I say this. The this. The this constructor. The that construct. The those. Why? Why does it have to start in TH for every word, bro? Let's give each word a new letter. That's the future, bro. Each word has its own letter, so I don't have to deal with words. Sudo rm-rf words. Now, that's going to take string, but it's U-byte array. Thingus. don't understand the point of coding on Linux, you can do it all this on Windows. It's like almost like the point of coding on Linux is say that you code on Linux. On Windows, I was never able to get the tools to work. So that's why I don't use Windows. But also I don't like spyware or corporate slop, so obviously that's my opinion, which I don't know if you agree with that or not. I don't really care. That's what I'm gonna do. And then ulong I. It's whatever works for you, man. I guess Linux just works better for me, but I don't know. Then we pass off arg. But does it create an arg? And I think that's where you need iota. Because it's not taking arg from that. It's taking I. There is no arg being pulled from task pool. Where was it at? This one? Standard.range iota. Go ahead and put this up top. Put this in here. Make sure it's in an alphabetical order. Standard dot range. There we go. Nice and clean. Iota. So we'll take an iota of this. Basically, iota makes a range. Then task pool is just taking the range. I'm unsure exactly the details of how this works. Man, I said it's whatever works for you, bro. If you like to code on Windows more, then that's for you to do. But me personally, I like Linux better. It works better for me. Never going back to searching the MSDN website for documentation. I'd rather KMS. Yeah. Bro, it's like they don't want you to program on Windows. It's like they don't want you to use your computer with Windows. Why is all my RAM gone with Windows? Where'd all my RAM go? Guys, why do I have to upgrade my RAM every time a Windows update hits? What's going on? What am I doing? Why do I just keep hitting tab and then shifting? My brain is like out. My brain said bye. Oh right, also cast ubyte array. Cast arg. Cast ubyte array arg. Bro, what is it doing? Then pass off I. The ulong I goes into the array. Everything will just work as intended by our god Todd. Todd Arch, bro. It's Todd Arch Day, bro. Todd Arch with Chud theme song. That's what I'm feeling, bro. Todd Arch today. Make sure everything looks beautiful. Oh yeah, Todd Arch. The legendary Todd Arch Linux, bro. Let's see. So that calls that, does the thing, sends it off to another thread here. How does it get returned? So like, how do we get, because it's operating on G shared. Oh, so the G shared should be the tensor. Global shared probably should be that. Now, this is gonna make whatever goes into tensor. We'll figure that out soon enough. But for now, it'll just be creating numbers and writing the line. The right side of Is your picture right? Nah, just look up Todd Howard and look up Skyrim. Actually, I have many more photos on this device. For example, and... Oh wait, you've already seen all of these ones, but for all those who haven't seen them, this is every background I have. Oh shit, I forgot I changed that one. It's a fucking AI slop. Bruh. This is the best one though. NVIDIA custom background. To maximize my inner CEO. To channel it. Corporate enterprise object. Wowie. I think I got all of the good ones, but I need a replacement for the AI slop one. I actually was looking at replacing it with another AI slop one, but it was just too much AI slop for me to handle. Here, let me show you guys. Whoa. This one. Too much slop, though. I do not like this much slop, so need replacements. Maybe somebody will do custom art for one? Yeah, the NVIDIA background is the one I was cooking on. I made that one live. Bro, this shit's just too unreal. Why am I... I'm just gonna do right LN so I can get my focus back. Right LN arg. Beginner mistakes have appeared at this time. Where are they at? Found ... when expecting a thingus? Thingamajib. This. Ah, it wants a comma, by the way. God damn it. Freeman. Oh, I'm gonna play Half-Life at 5 AM. Task pool is not using... What you just said. Bro, Iota. Iota. You Yoda. We Yoda. Star Wars The Clone Wars. That's the next one. Star Wars The Clone Wars Iota. 16. Okay, line 16 says task pool Iota. What task pool actually wants? Task pool actually wants dot parallel. Dot parallel. Yeah, sure, do that, and then I can just make it simple. Translate. You. Alright, did you mean args? What? Oh, right. Args of I, by the way. Now. Okay, Serioso. Token make worker. Yeah. Why the worky? Void token make. I miss. How dumb am I to misspell that shit? Bro. No wonder it didn't work. Tired, bro. 3 AM tired. So, essentially, what should happen is when I call token make, it writes out those. Bro, use crack before the stream. Bro, I drank one Monster Energy drink, and it's not the zero sugar kind. So now I'm just dying. It was like 2 hours ago. I live off Monster Energy drinks. Parser.token make. Wowie. Nice. Also, let's go ahead and time it. So, if you were to do it in parallel, it shouldn't take much time. It's kind of slow. I guess it's this system. It's 3 a.m. in there. Actually, yeah, it's 3:42 in the morning. In here, it's 12 p.m. It's okay. Wowie. Wowza. I wonder if I can swap out my CPU on my Dell laptop. I wonder if that's a thing. I think it has the things that you can press. It's a Dell laptop. I think it's got the thingus. And I think I can swap it for an i5 and watch the world burn. And then swap the i11 CPU or the i7 into the Optiplex. Colon, comma, colon, exclamation point, comma, colon. Alright, so we're gonna do that, and every time we do an operation, I want it to write the arg out. Well, actually, we're gonna for each these, but we need to also keep track of what it is. So, an array containing arrays of arrays. Or something. Ugh. But we also can take the arg and do stuff afterwards. Holy shit. Token make worker is gonna take every single... It's gonna for each CHR of arg. Then we're gonna write those out. Write ln CHR. See how far we are getting down in this rabbit hole. Nice. Okay. Then bitwise. We need to bitwise them. And then create... well, actually, for each CHR of arg, we're going to put it into a ushort. So prepare to make ushort. We're going to create a ushort before we get in the for each loop. It's going to be called ushort our super short. You short, bro. You short, bro. Yeah, you short, bro. Every time somebody looks in this code, they're gonna be like, why did you choose this name? Why not give it a good name? But you know why I chose this name? Because of how fucking hard it is to come up with names. Also, it's gonna equal 0, and when we do this, we're packing each arg into here. So, we need to pack them in there using bitwise. Now, that's fun stuff, because bitwise math is like cancer. If cancer was instant death. Well, it was actually worse, though. But here, we're going to have to pack args into ushort. Or ulong. You can choose whatever data type you want. I'm going to use ushort since it is 16-bit. Bitwise packing. I want to see bitwise packing. CS3410. Bit packing. What? Where did you get uint 8? Where is this from? Uint 8. Are these from C? Bro, if uint 8 is in C, bro, I'm gonna learn C, bro. What are these from? What language, bro? var uint 8. WebGL? JavaScript? Bitwise? Yes, please. Also, these are pretty standard for most languages. Usually you shift and mask and stuff, but I actually don't remember how we did this in Fish bitwise. Well, actually, that's a good point. I did write a bitwise program for some fucking crazy-ass cringe shit I was working on. Go ahead and open up that shit. Speaking of the cringe, Heisenberg. Oh. Where's my cringe project of all time? Program examples, D examples. Should have fish runtime, fish common. FT runtime. No. It is definitely fish common. Fish 64. Example that bin. The library of all time. Just gonna steal from here, probably. So a lot of this, there's set bin, uint, input. I don't exactly know how these work. But these are packing to uints, which are 32 bits. So there's a ubyte for width, too. Bruh, all this is kind of complicated. There's also vector math, too. Implemented with bitwise, because I was a jackass. And decided to do that. I don't know how any of that worked, but apparently it did work. There's also cases for math inside of a module. This program was so shittily written that I got bored. But at least it has write FLN. So I'll be able to reference that to steal for my own code, at least. Comma, write write FLN. And so the other one packed it with 32 zeros and written it in binary. What language is it? D-Lang? See, where is that? Write FLN. So this is write bin, but it's write FLN. So anytime we call this, it's just writing that with a 32-bit. 032B hex, or no, it's decimal for 32 bits. But we're gonna just do 16B. Problem is, putting it all in 16 might not work, but it might create multiple U shorts per word. We'll figure it out. For each CHR of that, and then we need to pack it in there, but we also, let's go ahead and do write FLN and do the CHRs as bytes to see what we're actually dealing with. It should just be 4. No, it's gonna be 8 numbers, because you could only fit 2 cars in a U short. Maybe a uint is required. Potentially. Copy that. Put that in there. Let's set it as 16 and just see what it puts out. Just getting myself a good foot ground to start off of. Yeah, see? If it's writing it and padding it with 16 zeros, then this is the actual binary representation of what we're dealing with, which is going to be really important for maximizing what we're capable of doing with this. As you can see, there's 5. Now, let's take this one, put it here. So we're going to shift them to the left. So let's take the first one and shift it, and then put it in there. So we'll take this, and we'll shift it to the front. So CHR is gonna shift. The problem with this idea is that, like, if we shift it in there and it doesn't fit, we also need to have an I so we can create a counter. And let's make the U short, let's make it a uint to create an array of uint. Uint bro equals 0, and the uint array output is going to equal, or does not equal anything yet, it's uninitialized. So we're gonna append bro to output every time I hits 4 and reset before the program can do anything else. If I equals 4, then append bro to output. I equals 0, continue. Should be good. I don't believe we need a continue in there, but I'm putting it in there just to be safe. Actually, fuck that. Let's do it wrong and see if it doesn't work, just because I don't like the way it looks. Being honest with you all. If it looks dumb, maybe it's dumb. Anyway, we're gonna try to pack them into a 32-bit and then put them into our output array. So that way we're working on pieces of 4, because each CHR is a U byte, right? U bytes hold 8 of these, effectively. So you can see that 104 is represented here as 1101000. Well, actually, it's actually represented as 011, obviously. So if you had a higher number, it'd take up another space. That's kind of why it looks uneven to me, is like these first couple zeros aren't... It kind of just looked uneven to me for a second. I was like, what is this? What am I looking at? Anyway, variable I is shadowing variable. Okay. God damn it. For each ulong ID. Call it ID. Alright, and it's not integral to type of void. It's not integral type. What do you mean? What do you mean? Arrgh. Not an integral type. What are you doing fish bitwise? Wait. Yeah, fish bitwise good. What you doing, bruh? Right FLN? Oh. Sorry, I was doing shifting still. Shift it by width and max. What was it? So here we had merge set bit, get bit, bit array, fetch 32 bits, merge 32 to 64. Cast ulong A and shift it 32. Oh, right, so you would shift it to... Oh! That's how you do it. So you cast it to the data type, then you shift it. That's really interesting. We don't even need to append a bro. Well, we should probably do that. So every time it runs, CHR is going to get shifted right by 8. And then we merge the next CHR. So how does that work exactly? Well, actually, bro is going to be shifted... Wait, fish bitwise. So those return a ulong data type as well. So I'm just using return in that instance instead of doing other stuff. But you also pipe B, so uint B is going to be piped in. Bro shifts 8, and then we would OR, just like with bash, where you can OR stuff together. We OR in the next CHR. So bro is gonna equal that, and also then CHR. Hoping the orders are correct. And then let's go ahead and do that. Testing. Ooh, no good. Why no good? Bro equals 0. Bro pipes. What if I did it wrong? Kind of, sort of, maybe. Kind of, maybe, sort of, potentially, possibly wrong. Where could I have gone wrong? Cast U long A, so we cast that. We don't want to set it equals to something, because we want to just shift it by 8, then pipe OR into it. Well, let's just try it, doing it one step at a time. Bro pipes CHR. Hold on. Bro pipes equal CHR. There we go. That is what we're looking for. So here you can see that I have 4 bytes packed in. But the problem occurs when you then have the next one and it's just a bunch of zeros. Although this does create unique indexes for each word. So now, if I were to write that line out, it's going to look really weird. But basically, if I did a write ln for bro, let's write ln. Actually, let's call it in the weirdest way possible. Technically, you could just do bro.write fln, but I don't want to try that. Let's just do bro. Actually, let's give it a shot. I mean, honestly, using universal function call syntax for no reason. This is actually a valid reason to use it. Ah, never mind. I take back everything I said. You would use it for stuff like that, though. And as you can see, 104, 200, and that's like, as it gets packed up, it just grows exponentially. I think this is the second process running. We also should import write. My alarm is going off because it's 4 a.m. Wowie. It's the 4 a.m. alarm. 4 a.m. Arch Linux on ARM. Whoa. I mean, this does work. So it pipes it in there, creates a bunch of those. Obviously, lots of zeros and stuff in there, but this will work for what I'm trying to get to. Because now, these are getting us towards, like, compression, kind of. I'm thinking kind of compression. Kind of compressy. Kind of compressy, really. Also, once we finish that, let's write ln for not arg, but for the output. So here's the 2 outputs. That is our unique index of that. Although the problem is that when you have an array and you have a 5-character input, for example, what length are we going to? But anyway, that gives you kind of what you want. Now, there's also the ability to take 16-bit, or like we did a U-short. U-short, you would shift it by 8 as well. You would just change the amount of increments you'd do. So you would do 2 for each increment. So let's go ahead and do U-short. Let's actually do U-short instead. I think that's a better idea. Then every 2, and still shift by 8, but instead you're going to write a 16-bit number. And then that's going to be U-short as well. Unsigned short. Okay. that packs them correctly. So now, the problem is, it's not appending to that ever. So it's just shifting it a bunch of times. It's not appending. But it's a problem, because I need it to append. So, let's figure out what's going on here. Actually, I starts at 0. Let's try that. If I equals 1, do thing. Okay. So that doesn't work. Let's try I dot right ln. 0, 0, 1, 0, 3, 4, 3, 4. Can you set the I value back? Might need to be declared externally from this. Let's do ulong I. Let's see about that. So like bitwise stuff is like the fundamentals, I think. If you're ever going to try to do anything compression-wise, compressing data down, this is the like fundamental aspect of it is bitwise stuff. Because if you can't pack stuff without bitwise. Obviously, you can cast stuff to ulong, but that doesn't mean it's packed. Just because you cast something to ulong just means it appends a bunch of zeros to the front or the back, but it's the front usually. So, because if you append it to the back, you're just increasing the value, which wouldn't be doing anything. So. Ulong I equals 0. Oh, right, because it needs to plus I. So now the for each loop has to plus it for me. Now we're getting our array appending. Although, that looks about right, though. So let's do, after we finish that, let's do write FLN. I don't think you can do that to an array. Let's try it out on arg. So we know that's kind of working, but like what is arg? Figured that wouldn't work. Okay. But, you'd probably have to just for each them into there and then write them out. So, just put it back to the inside of there. Right up, bro. Every time it gets in there, and we're good. DMD that. Time that Coolio, write ln arg. I want to see what that is, and write ln output. So you can see it makes that, so it packs the arrays correctly. Let's go ahead and give it something bigger, like hello, hello. Should see multiple of the same. Now, here's where it went wrong. Wait, what? There is no other things in there. Oh, wait, that's the args. That makes sense, though. It's doing it correctly, though, right? 26725. 27756. This should be the next one. Right? And then if we put hello in there. Let's see. Yeah, hello just gives you these two. Not whatever this is, where it's still shifting. So, what's going on there? Well, I think if we were to write ln, zero, one, zero, one, zero, one. One of them is only going to have two of those. I'm pretty sure the second one running, or the first one, was a hello world. Because usually what's going on is that because there's two different threads running this at the same time, they're both writing, so we don't have a real good indicator of what thread it is, but I guess I could do write ln I, comma, and then ID to get the thread ID. So now you can see thread one is the second one. So it kind of just gets thrown in there, but they'll be okay. Oh, tired, bro. Tired. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Looks like it's good. 0, 0. Those are the different things going on with that. Also, let's just set output to equal 0. Because we don't do that here, so we don't set bro equals 0. Which I think is what it needs me to do. This does not look pretty by any means. But bro, comma, I, they both equal 0. Reinitialize them both on the same line, I guess, would be the best way to go. Because aren't we supposed to be getting like... Oh, that's hello world. Oh, okay. What about hello... 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 Should see that you get multiple, but you get the same values each instance. Write ln bro. Okay, so this is fine, but what's going on here? Before we do anything, write ln bro, comma, and then comma ID. So I want to figure out what's going on there before we do anything. Let's see. 26752. Those are looking correct. ID 1, 26752. 2. Here's where things are getting interesting. So it's packing them. It reset it, and then it's packing it again. But it's not taking the same index every time. That's why they look similar, but they're not the same. So obviously, anytime you write hello, it's going to be the same as hello. But every time you write the word hello, 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 it's the same word. Because it's not... What if I wrote ole? Will it add up to the same values? This is one of the things that happened in the other program. And... of course... ends up with them being inverse, which is correct. So that's how that should be. So it should pack them in there. Okay, it is working as intended. There's like no way it's not working as intended. In fact, bro equals 0 might not even need to happen at all. Because at the end, it's just shifting it in there. It'll do 2 iterations and shift. Let's try some others. Let's try like, well, obviously it's gonna be different every time, but this gives you your seed. That's what creates the seed, is shifting it and then doing that. So then if I wanted to get a U-short seed, I can do that now. But I could also take a U-int or a U-long and pack it with these U-shorts, or just completely ignore that and treat everything as a U-short, which I'm gonna do, because 16 bytes should be possible for FP16, or what is it, int 16 or some shit that OpenCL has, so that should be fine. That'll be okay for pass off, I think. Now it's just about building the G shared tensor that is going to be U short. Anyway, let's figure out what we're doing. So this is fine. That's fine. And then we gotta figure out more stuff though. Because I think, actually no, this is fine. Taking 2 different ones, we're creating a unique word. So we've created 4 and 4, well, we created 2 and 2. So we're creating pairs of bytes, essentially. We've just paired 2 bytes together. We could technically compare each of the bytes from bro to check if they match known indexes of bytes or other bytes or something. And then match them to create like matches and then pass that off. But for now, this will just send it off to the U short array. Let's do that. So from here, pass off to U short array. Let's do that. Let's see. So for each of these, we're gonna append it to the output. Now the interesting thing is the amount of indexes that you have in this U short array. Let's just go with an array of arrays to start off. I don't think I need 3 arrays. But we should be able to pass those U shorts to it. Because it is G shared, so that means threads won't matter too much. Just handling it. What were we even doing with a U short array? Now, let's see. No, you don't do that. Pass it to our, what was it called? Tensor. Tensor is going to take the, what is it? Output. Yeah. Do that. It just works. Okay. Write ln output. No, don't do that until they're all done. So that should happen afterwards. Create a void dump for it. This, or actually just write ln. We could do output.write ln. Alright, that should be good. Ah, tensor. I'm dumb. Sometimes. We need to call that, though. Should be able to call it like that. Yeah, it doesn't even complain. Let's get rid of, if we can call like that, then call like that as well. Nice. We're looking at 2 arrays. Now, this is fucking amazing. What if we do 2 of these? Give it a second layer to the brain train. But you can't really append an array of array. So what's gonna happen? It's gonna complain that I'm trying to append an array to an array of arrays, which is kind of weird, but exactly. I knew that would happen. Cannot append type U short array. So to actually build that array of arrays, this is no longer that. It's gonna be like things. But anyway, we'll leave it as tensor. But that's the word pairs. Maybe we call it word pair? Nah, just fucking leave it as tensor for now. I'll figure that out later. Naming shit, it's a tomorrow problem. Alright, so we have tensor created as an array. Wowie. Let's just play around with this for a bit so I can get my grasp of what's going on. See what it's doing. Wow. Wait. 6? What the hell? How's it packing those? See that it's... I mean, it is packing them correctly, I think. What's going on here? Is it just packing those? Oh, wow. That's very dynamic of it. But why does it not pick the extra ones? Like, hello. Just 1 for 4 letters. Hello, W. Oh, what am I making? A super AI. It's gonna be so great that Linus will include it in the Linux kernel. It's gonna be written in D-Lang, so it will be the most amazing thing of all time. Let's try better C, by the way. I think we have to extern C everything. So, like, if we want to better see everything, this is for the most optimal setup. You would extern C : and then just tab everything afterwards. But I mean, I'm not gonna do that. You don't need to tab everything, I don't think. No, you don't even need to do that at all. Dash better C. And it's gonna complain because it cannot use throw. So I don't think we can do that. Lamau. It's okay. Just wait till you see my background. Wowie. NVIDIA Gate. Archman. Architure Labs. Where was the other one? It was like Arching Bed, and then one of them. Fucking great backgrounds. Arch-chan. The AI slop of all time. And then lastly, AI slop number 2 with human augmentation. This is not slop, this is religion. Arch religion. Arch maxing. Yeah, that's what that is. Great wallpaper. I've got, okay. What is it like? This is good. I'll replace arching bad with your wallpaper maybe. But we'll see. Bro, my Raspberry Pi is so angry right now, I can hear it going. Continuing onwards. Do not better see it. Font name? I don't even remember. Here, maybe I can fast fetch it. Just flawless handcrafted. Wowie. Flat pack. Font says add whitest sans, but I don't know if I'd trust that. Actually, it might be. Sudo might be added whitest sans. Oh, my memory's really low today. Amazing taste, by the way. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. My color scheming, you'll notice, is custom too, because my brain hurts and I decided I will make custom colors to make it all pink and shit. What a great idea. Font name, please? Add whitest sans. Also, this is my least favorite CPU right now. Personally, I prefer the Gen 4 Intel 5. I got one on my desk right now. Personally, I prefer the i5 4th gen 4590. Not the fucking... Oh wait, the terminal font is Z Mono Nerd font extended. By the way. There you go, I think I found that for you. I don't know. Also, I use FVWM3, by the way, with X11. The most base setup. Oh, don't fast fetch. Oh god. Watch-N2 fast fetch. Tokens. Where's the NVIDIA... Oh, actually, we can't show inauthentic content on YTs anymore, bro. But it's safe to say I have a very funny NVIDIA deepfake, bro. It's super lol. But, I one time showed it off on stream a long time ago. But now, I don't think we can do that. Right? I hope I didn't miss any. The whole alphabet can be displayed in that many U-shorts. That many bros. U-short, bro. God damn. That hurts, bro, for all those short losers out there. U-short, bro. You Archman in the background, bro. Short losers? Nah, that guy's a god, though. Arch God. Arch Chad. The Archmaster Pro 500. The legend himself. The second coming of the Arch. Oh, get this fucking math out of my face, bro. I hate math. That's why I never went to school for math. I, never went to school at all, even. I'm just educated on Arch Linux, bro. Self-taught. I'm self-learned at D-Lang. Learned it live on stream. Tensor. Right ln tensor. What am I doing with tensor, right? So I'm writing the line for tensor. Why? Oh. So we appended to tensor. What's next then? So we need to break it down? I only do meth? Yeah, I wish I had some, bro. That'd be amazing. That'd be the future. Never heard of that math guy? Bro, yeah. Math guy is fucking pain. Bro, math is cringe. Math is cringe. Hey, if you work at CERN, just know that I hate math. It's cringe. Fortran, bro. Fortran. Let's invent formula translation language. I mean, Fortran doesn't sound bad. I don't hear bad things about Fortran. In fact, the people who use it, I think mostly say that they like it. But what I hear bad things about is like Java. Those people hate Java. I hate Java too. You sound like an Arch user? Yeah, I use... Oh, I mean, by the way, I use Arch. Wow. Most base setup of all time. Bro, this is awesome when people pop in because I'm like, well, how many different desktops can I fast fetch on? And I can fast fetch on this one. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh wait. Now I have to read the Daily Jester. Java is a DSL to transform big XML documents into long exception stack traces. The last good thing written in C++ was the Patchel Bell Cannon. I don't know what that one means. And I've read this one like 30 fucking times. I need more good Java fucking insults. Time to go fast fetch on NVIDIA. I don't feel like going to everyone. I just showed off all of them earlier. Fast fetch. Oh shit. Oops. Wrong side. 8 flat packs. Wowie. Java, the best argument for small talk since C++. We've already read these ones. Lame. Oh, I can also just call Jester2 manually. So, Jester2 delay. Cooperative multitasking. Unlike operating system threads, which are paused, suspended, and resumed by the operating system at unknown points in time, a fiber pauses itself explicitly and is resumed by the caller explicitly, according to this. I'm not gonna read all this. It's a fucking dump, but if you were to read this, you can do that. This is about fibers with cooperative multitasking. Fibers are interesting, but anyway. I can also do Jester2 supporters for everybody who supports the channel. I put their quotes in here. I dislike when others shit my pants for me. Old man pieces. Thank you all. Anyway, back to the other one. Cooperative blood. Can you not read? Reading's for nerds. And personally, I'm not a nerd. I'm an Arch user, so I'm the most chadliest of fellas. Truly. Anyway, where am I going with this? Back to here. Who uses DOMG? Java can die in a pit. Please don't tell me you also do functional programming. No, I'm actually doing object-oriented stuff right now. Recently I got into it. What do you mean you cannot? Can I not read? Oh wait. You sound like pirate software without the baggage. I have no idea what that means, by the way. I end every sentence in by the way because I use Arch, by the way. By the way, I use Arch, by the way. If you didn't already know, by the way. Oh, I'm stupid, I thought. Yeah, I was just reading through all the messages. I didn't look at them for a little bit because I have them on this desktop. Intel graphics 1.4 gigahertz. Yeah. Let's see where I was at. I keep losing track. Oh, I just removed the shit that dumps every single binary. Oof. See, oof is represented as 2.8. That's only... What? Where's the other one? See, it only appends... Okay, I see what's going on here. On scope exit, append that. Well, actually... Yeah, just do scope exit, because that's gonna look like I know what I'm doing, but really it isn't necessary here. This is not necessary, but this is, I guess, a way of using scope exit, which I like to use. Because it looks pretty, okay? And people told me, if code looks pretty, it's good code. But they're wrong because they use C++. What am I writing? A super AI, so Linus Torvalds can put it in Linux kernel. It will destroy the planet. I'll call it Teaminator? Teaminator 420. Yeah, the Teaminator 420. Great stuff. I'm writing my own D-Lang AI. What a weird thing to do. I'm just a weirdo who uses Arch, by the way. Scope exit. Output append bro. That way, if it's 3 or like an odd number, it gets appended anyway. That should just work. Todd Howard. Good stuff. And now, oof is, Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. What just happened is, it appends every time it exits, right? So, it exits the for each loop a shit ton of times. Because for each loops are weird? Question mark. I mean, I guess it might be that it's... Well, when it hits this one, it should exit. But anyway, there's an easy workaround, and it's not to be stupid, but I've never done that before or tried that, so that's interesting to see what that does. But basically, it exits the for each loop a shit ton of times. Very interesting. I wonder why it does that. I don't know. I'll just figure that out eventually on my own. But that's pretty cool to see that. It's weird shit. Some weird behavior. Anyway, you could also just do it by doing output appends the thing is. So that should fix it. So it can handle oof. Never mind. Oh god. Well... Hold on, we have to add eval for this. Why is output appending bro and not... What? What am I doing? What? I'm getting confused. Incredible variable naming scheme, by the way. Thank you. I said you short bro because you short bro. Shorter than arch guy in background. Output append bro. My brains are well, my brain is turning on right now. It's rebooting. Oh. This didn't pad it with zeros. Oh, if CHR doesn't have a 0, we need to append zeros. Also, I mean, I guess, let's get writeln, bro.writeln going. Yeah, let's get that cooking right now. Let's see. And at the end, oh, it works again. I don't know what the fluke was last time. I think one of the threads must have just not existed. However, we're gonna look for duplicates. It appears as though... Oh, okay, so if I equals 1, then we can append. So that means it didn't finish completely, because it has to hit 2 and then append. 2 iterations. But if I starts at 0, it'd go 0, 1, 2. That's 3 numbers. How's that getting packed? So let's just do one word to see how it packs 1. Bro. see the packing on that. Okay. Packing for bro. What about packing for bro? Okay. Makes sense. They'll be the same. Packing's good. But so the first one creates 25,000. It takes 98, puts it into the first, well, puts it in the front, shifts it over by 8 to create that space for the next character, to insert that into my U short, which then means that the next one, 000, we could also achieve a similar behavior if I were to just append, well, if the arg.length does not equal an even number, we just append like a placeholder value, like Q or something. But the problem with that is that you're modifying the original word, so you end up with an issue on that when you do that. The other way of doing it would be to just insert zeros at the end. No, that's what I think would be an optimal idea. So, but the problem is then translating it back into words. There won't be any real association between these and the original words. However, how do we get to that point where we associate those with the original words? I don't know. This is like, my brains are burning because of this. Because then I'm like, well, we can't modify this, or we modify the original word, but then I have to think about, potentially I have to turn this back into the original word. So, but then again, this by its very nature is getting us to that word. What about if I have a word like broth? Yep, still works with that as well. So it starts off with 111, continues. Well, actually, I think that's just, it's getting finished there. Try that one. Well, that one's 7? Odd number words will always end in a single car. I guess that's fine. But what if I want to write FLN? Let's write an FLN. Nah. That's fine. Fun. Ugh. Fun stuff. So we are getting to what I need. I actually want to write the FLN. Should be 16B. Not a decimal number. So if it's... Theoretically, it should be shifted all the way over and be like a higher value. Write FLN. So I want to pad it with zeros. So we just add another CHR to the array. The CHR is going to actually... Well, the U-byte would be just zeros. So it switches to write FLN. Do a %B, %0, and then 16B, comma, bro. Should give us what we're looking for to get those binaries. Well, to get the binary out. There we go. Next one is we need to just take a 0 and insert it into this. So if arg.length does not equal, or actually you'd take a modulus, but you can't do that with u signed, can you? I don't think you can. No, let's maybe. If modulus of arg.length so the if the arg.length modulus 2 equals 0, I think, was it? Right ln true. True. Comma arg.length. I want to get the length property of it so I can see if it's actually working correctly. And we'll do 2 different tests. No true. So I think that one's not working. True, 4. See, that's what I'm looking for, because that means the arg length for a 4-letter one. So instead you would do does not equal. If it does not equal that, then boom. Now it will work for both of the other ones. Because I was kind of unsure. I haven't done modulus to like detect if something is not even numbered in a while. So next step will be to save that and then append 0. How's the project going? It's going well. I rewrote it again from yesterday, but this time it works better. I'm just gonna not handle args that start with a dash yet. I'll figure that out later. It's a later problem for me, I think, because I don't really have any plans for those. What am I gonna do? Be like, yes, we'll have args when I don't have any idea what we're gonna do with args yet. They'll be there eventually. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Maybe I won't even do that. Maybe it will be a text machine to be like a Turing machine of some kind of Turing thing. Oh yeah, but I gotta get my foot in the door on AI before it goes out. By the way, that'd be crazy of me not to do such a thing, because we all know it's going out eventually. Well, it's going out. It's just gonna become less mainstream, I should say, because I don't think it's ever going to go away, really. Once the Pandora's box is open, it's hard to put everything back in. If you've ever heard that expression. Okay, so we need to actually insert the zeros. U short, actually, what am I doing? Output append 0. Actually, arg append 0. 0x00. Yeah. Give me the hexatron. Hexen, bro. Pops open hexen for a little bit. Wowie. What? 4 true. Failed. What? Okay, so 4-letter words end up being that. Why? Before we had this, they were working perfectly. There should be 2 indexes. The size of car is 00000, which is 50% of a U short. That doesn't matter there, but here it does. So when we go up by 3, it's not going to work. So every time it goes to 1, do it. Bro, I'm really good at Linux ricing. I have to... What am I doing, bro? Oh my gosh. What is this? Me looking dumb right now. Okay. I'm gonna teach some people how to do that, and I'm not that good. Bro, I have to get really good. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. Why are you teaching people how to Linux rice, bro? Honestly, I think I did rice it out a little bit on streams. I'm not good at ricing. This rice is like literally just PyCom-B and a little bit of art art on the background. Hell, even Tor browser I got PyCommed. Where's the other one? Watch this. Actually, let's go to NVIDIA to show my appreciation of NVIDIA Blackwell and run Web Tools Tor. Bro, see, even Tor is ghost mode, bro. It really doesn't work well. One time we did go on the dark web and then that stream got demonetized. I was like, okay, let's not do that again. Noctalia makes racing easy. Is that, what is Noctalia? Wow, looks so cool. Good for LARPers. I like CachyOS. I got CachyOS with my Intel i5 4th gen. And it really cooks at 3.7 gigahertz. Bro, that shit's so fun. I'm playing Half-Life and I'm getting like the world's best graphics, bro. World's best graphics with some weird ass AMD GPU from the past. I'm so bad, but they think it looks so cool, so they're asking me. I just can't say no. I'm the youngest in my college. I'm 18 and they are 36 and 32, and for any other Linux thing, I'm good, but Rising is the hardest. It's Hyperlink Shell. How long does it take to install Arch? Not that long. I use CachyOS. CachyOS is awesome. CachyOS? Bro, I'd tell beginners to use CachyOS, bro. I use Starship for Shell. I listened, you need to be free for a whole day. Bro, what? Bro, did I actually type bro what in there without even realizing? I didn't even do that consciously. I didn't choose to do that. Shift, control, save. But anyway, this is 50%, so need to recompile. Decompiling. That's not supposed to happen. That's just making U shorts of everything. Look how many U shorts I just made. Next up, we'll make I shorts. Wowie. Okay, so it would be set to 2, so that's fine. Why is it not packing my shit correctly, though? Alright, time. And... bro... what? What about BR? What is... BR just doesn't exist. There is no BR. There is no canon. Not long ago, Arch. Arch is so good, I use Arch, then install CachyOS. My question is now, what am I doing exactly? Let's try BR. BR does that, but it never reaches the append condition to actually make it into existence. Or does it not append because it exits this? Maybe at the end of execution, it needs to just output that. Any tips? Good vids? Check out Brody's videos. I don't know, he probably has something on Rising. Here, let me go search for you. Was it Brody Robertson? How to arch rice? Linux tips, and he has Odyssey. Wowie. I guess this is it. Argos Translate. He does lots of videos, but I'd recommend this guy. Lots of good stuff right there. Or how to rice arch. Maybe Reddit. Oh, here we go. Some Reddit stuff on our Unix. comma colon question mark exclamation point period. How to write 3 questions. Desktop environments. Any good guides? I3. Yeah, Red Hat. Just go to Red Hat, bro. They got everything. Red Hat. Why did I call it Red Hat, by the way? Because I saw a Chinese meme once, and it said Red Hat in it, and now I just can't let that go. So what if I just put like, oh shit, what am I doing in there? I'm typing shit, but I'm not sure where my arrow keys are. Oops. Hopefully we didn't blow shit up. If I equals 1. Well, when it gets I equals 2, then it's not gonna append. Why is output not appending, bro? What is output again? Output's that? So output doesn't append the first one? Write ln output after it appends. I want to see what that looks like. I can help your code. Take this I%2 equals 0 and replace this. Yeah, I think that would work. Or I and 1 equals 0, it is better. I'll check that in a second. You mean like move the if statement here? Like the I starts here. Take this if I %2. Oh, okay. So like you just mean like the arg.length equals 0. Replace with I and 1. Oh, maybe and. Oh, because this would just return a 0 and a 1, right? I think I understand. So like that, pretty much. Thank you. This is good. Where was I with this? Oh, we're writing the line for output. Did I put a semicolon on that? Because that'd be like the most beginner mistake I've ever made. Not like I don't make it 1,000 times per episode. What? So it never hits that. Never hits I equals 0. What is I then? I. Do 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 do. See what it's doing. So I is at 1. So that will work here, right? I is at 0. Then I plus plus. Let's see. Cool. So that works perfectly. But the problem is, every time it hits this, then it's going to append bro to output. But then we're writing output. Okay, so that's working. It hits the end, but it doesn't pack anything this way. That's the whole point, is that it packs twice. So it has to run twice to pack. However, oh right, we tried that already. We tried the scope if exit, then append bro. What is I? Yeah, well, I was like, well, what is I? Is I this? What am I? What are I? Is I this one, or is I, oh, arg.length. That was my question, was what was it? I mean, I don't know. I is kind of not very specific. I have an I here, and I have like I here. But I didn't think it was this one. I thought it was this I, but then I was like, well, actually, it'd make more sense if it was me not moving this. I was thinking I was gonna have to move this, but that's actually fucking dumb. If I put this into my for each, then I'd be like re-evaluating every single time. You don't need to evaluate every single time. If you can avoid that, it's better. So I guess if I equals 2, but what if we just did and 2? Can I do and 2 here? If I and 2? I wonder, actually, I don't know if that works. 0, 1. Well, actually, I think it does. 0, 1, 2. What? Wow. Oh. It's also processing the itself into there. Oops. I don't want to time it, I don't think. True 4. The length is now 4. It writes the length afterwards. Okay, anyway, that just means that it hits this thing. If it hits that, it's good. Fish AI BR. Okay, then it makes that. Creates output, but doesn't get to this point where it appends output to the thing. Ops. I think it's working still. I think and is just a better version of equals equals. Why would I check if something equals equals if I could just say if I and 2? Because then it would just be if I and 2 are the same, then it's true, because that's an and statement right there. It's an and evaluation. Because if they're both the same, then the output is true. Aha. Also, I don't know if it did help, but I just know that sometimes I use that instead, and it kind of helps. I don't know. I had an idea. It might not work. Well, it works. I like this better. I like this. This is cool. This can replace all my equals equals. I'm gonna do it everywhere from now on. Anywhere I see equals equals, equals equals gone, bro. Equals equals lame. I'm gonna say and from now on. So it only hits 1. So then, does it exit here? See if it exits there. Because it should be. If it exits there, it appends bro as nothing. So what is bro then? what is bro? Output. What is output then? Let's see. Output's nothing? What? But it should hit this as well. If I and 1, right? Does I is still valid as long as it's outside this loop. We already saw this earlier. Works on the 3 ones, but not the 2s? Or not like the 2 byte ones? So it doesn't work on 2 byte values. Is it supposed to work if I is 2 and only if it's 2? Yeah. Well, it's only ever going to be 2. See, anytime that I and 2, then it will hit this and go I equals 0. Then it will redo the loop. Question, you don't have to, but mind if you could upload your project for this? Your code is interesting, and I would like to tinker around with it. Yeah, I can do that. I'll actually do that right now, honestly. I'll upload it to Codeberg. I usually put it on Codeberg nowadays. Let's see. Do I need to log in today? Jester 2. Oh, I gotta sign in today. Wowie. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta pull out my password book. This is gonna take me like 5 minutes. I never click remember me on this device. I like to type in my password. But also, I don't really upload to Codeberg much. Discord. Archbook Pro Max. Codeberg. This is a fun password. I like this one. Coolioso. Wowies. Codeberg has changed its terms of use. View complete. Oh wow, good. Cryptocurrency projects are no longer allowed. Awesome sus. I keep it in my head, I have good memory. I could recite 56 passwords. Yeah, I wish I had that good memory, but I don't know. I don't know. My head does not work that well anymore. It's called lots of impact. Issues? Oh, did I just click on issues? There should be no issues with Jester. It's good for C++ devs. Milestones. Create. New repository. Repository name. Oh, they said no AI generated code, right? I think that was what they said. So this is not AI generated code though. It's written by me. One man, TH3 Fish, wrote the code. Fish parser. For now, we'll call it fish parser since all it's doing is well, actually, fish byte packer. No, we'll call it fish AI. A byte packer for now for fish AI. No, actually, change that back. Unless your name or initials is AI. Fish AI. Enter short description. Fish algorithm for actually dealing or algorithm written in D-Lang for my super AI fish AI. Set labels. Do I have to? Create repository. Yes, please. New file. No, don't do that. Please. Cancel. Add file. Sudo upload file. Right here. fishay.d. I'll just upload this. I hope this works. Oh shit. Never mind. Add directory. Drop. Oh, I'm dumb. Right, I need to just click there. D-Lang. Fish server. fishay.d. Nice. That's the 1.3 kilobyte file. Feel free to enjoy that. I'll work on it more tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow as well. So. Fish AI source code. Commit changes. Cool. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time because I'm gonna end today's stream here. Thank you all for watching. See you guys next time, and goodbye.